Hey everybody, it's Michael from GetFitOver40.com. Not on my hat, I got a different hat on today. But yeah, that's me. I'm right here. I'm right in the yard in the back 40. It's actually the back 6, but we'll call it the back 40. So there's the house way back there. If I stumble and if the camera does anything weird, it's because I might be falling into a big hole back here. There's some pretty big holes in this backfield, and when I stumble, the camera goes a little nuts. But we can carry on. All right, so I did promise that we'd be talking a little bit about, couples and sex drive, right? And how that all plays out, because I feel like I'm a little bit of an expert. Not an expert, but I'm definitely a lot more educated than most guys who have only really seen things from their own perspective. And, I was that guy up until just recently, until my testosterone just totally crashed. So if you've got super low testosterone, you probably will understand a little more what I'm talking about, okay? Because you kind of almost, life is about living the experience. You have to live through an experience it yourself before you can really understand it fully. You might think you understand something, but until you go through something yourself, it's harder to understand. You definitely get more of an idea of what people are going through by living through it. So, back in the day, I've always had, since I've always had good, decent testosterone. I was a little low at one point there, and went on the TRT, and I was a little over the low norms, but I was on the very low side, but just before the cutoff. That's why I went on TRT, and it definitely helped me a lot with recovery and all those things, and aches and pains and things like that I was experiencing at the time. And I've been on the TRT for quite a while, but before that, I was pretty normal, went through life. I was able to put muscle on and had a sex drive and all those things, had a good libido. But now we're talking, now I've been off of testosterone for getting close to 6 months now, and things have definitely changed, and the libido is crushed. No sex drive at all, really, at all. I'm talking like really doesn't cross my mind. So, back in the day, we'll get back to that, when my wife and I were younger, I had the bigger libido and she didn't. And, after having kids, and she was actually diagnosed as being low on testosterone and estrogen. So there was that going on with her as well. So that's been something that she has fixed over the years. Her doctor and hers have worked that through. But she was low on testosterone and estrogen, so that wasn't helping her libido either. And the kids and just, stress and marriage stress and all that stuff with young family. She just wasn't interested at all. Well, I wouldn't say at all, but very rarely in sex. And so that was a struggle, because I was a normal guy with normal expectations and needs. And I just didn't understand. I felt like, why doesn't she want me? Am I not attractive to her? Is she not even willing to? It's not like it takes a long time, or I needed it every day or anything, but it was like, is she not even willing to try that little bit? It was hard. It was really hard to understand what she was going through. And, she did try. She did try, and there were times when it was worse and sometimes when it was a little better. But I feel like she did try. Now that I understand more, I can see how she was trying probably more than I thought. And it's hard, no matter what side you are on, to, you're going to feel, especially if you're the one in anything, if you're the one that wants more than the other person can give, if you love someone more than they love you, if you have more, needs in one department than the other, if you need more hugs and they're not a hugger, you're obviously going to be the one that's kind of feels more hurt, right? Because you're the one who feels like you're missing out on something. And sex is no different, right? Sex is exactly the same. And so I kind of now understand, because if anything, I'm the one now that isn't trying hard enough, right? Isn't really making the time that I should and helping her. Because the women, it's not that they don't, want sex. They do. It's just a little bit different. I think what gets them in the mood is a lot different than guys. Guys, it's more physical, or it used to be for me, right? It's like we get a bad rap because we think that we just are like, we want to have sex with every chick we see. It's not like that. It's more like you see an attractive woman and it makes you think about sex. Now, where you take that attention or that feeling and where you focus it on is up to you. That's where I think a lot of guys let the ball down, or they make the mistake where they take that little inkling that they have, or that that mood that they get into because they saw an attractive woman. And there's like, come on, there's attractive women out there. It's like there's more women out there. There's pretty women. Your wife is not the only attractive woman out there, right? It's how you deal with it. So, what you need to do is you need to take that mood or whatever, that desire that you got, and you focus it in on your wife, right? So, not sure where I'm even going with this. Remember, my brain isn't working so good. But, that's the thing, is guys are like that, and it doesn't even have to be a real woman. You can just see like the silhouette in a picture of the outline of a woman, and she's voluptuous, and all of a sudden you're thinking about sex. So obviously you aren't going to go and have sex with a Peterbilt mud flap because it's got a picture of silhouette of a woman on it. You're not going to want to have sex with that mud flap. But it makes you think about sex. And so you're going to want to, maybe get your wife interested as well, right? Whatever that takes. So women are a little different. I don't think the visual thing stimulates them. It's more like, obviously, it's more the side of things where they feel loved. They feel like you're giving them attention. They feel like you're focusing on them, like they're important, that they're beautiful. That's what really does it for them. So, it's really a weird balance. Men and women are so different. But the need for it does arise for both of us, men and women, because of different reasons, but it does come up. And once there's that desire, it's hard for both sides when the one other person just isn't interested, and it makes them feel like they're not wanted, or they're not beautiful, or they're not attractive, or they're not respected. Sometimes guys feel like they're not respected because their wives aren't helping them with their needs, right? And for guys, it's like a need. I don't know, can't speak on behalf of women, but for women, it could be a need too, I suppose. Maybe not as much as for men, but I'm not a woman, I don't know. So that's kind of like, you've got to, no matter who you are, and no matter where you are, if you're the one who wants more or less, it's really important to talk it through and let the other person understand, what's going on. Why aren't you interested? And it could be, like for me, it could be my hormones out of whack. It could be just because of stress, right? Because other things in your life are going on and you're just not thinking about it that much. It could be the relationship is struggling. And so it's not that you don't love them or think that they're attractive. You're turned off by what's going on in the relationship. It can turn you off, more for women than men. Like if this relationship is stressful, women are going to be turned off. Men will be just like, yeah, they're pissed off or whatever, but they still want to have sex. That's a whole different thing, right? It's not connected. So for women, it's super important. So you need to talk things through. You need to let your spouse or partner know what's going on so that they can understand the situation, and they can tell you how they're feeling and what their needs are. They might not be as much as you think, and you can hopefully work something out. Anyways, hopefully this helped a little bit. I just kind of winged it, as you can tell, but hopefully it helped you understand a little bit more now that I've kind of been on both sides of the fence. All right, thanks for watching another getfitover40.com video. Don't forget to subscribe. Check me out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm getting pretty ugly right now. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.